Population pyramids, you can learn an awful lot about a country or a region by looking at its population pyramid. So it's a bar graph that shows age, sex composition. So the basics of it are this. So, oops, there we go. So if you look down here in the bottom left, this is Niger in 2015. So it divides things out by gives you the slope, male on the left, female on the right. Although typically that can differ. Um, it divides things up every 5 years. It would tell you the point, and then it connects the slope in between there. Um, so what this shows, a lot of stuff. First of all, where it significantly starts to drop off, there's your life expectancy. It can show you dependency ratio, number of people under 15, number of people over 65. It can show you economic development by showing where opportunities are and where they're not. Baby booms and then baby echoes. A baby echo is one that when the baby boom has babies, which I'll show you as well. And then the narrow base can show total fertility rate. So to best show you this big time looks at age. So if you look up here, this is Japan. Japan 1950, pretty high on the base. The base was pretty strong, so growing population. But then by 2005, you see the base is pretty narrow, and as you move up, oh boy, you got a problem. Here you can see the boom and echo of it as well. And then 2055, you see, oh no, your population is in very slow recovery, or very slow growth. So this is just Europe, and just average age population in Europe. This is something that's pretty easily seen on population pyramid, and we'll look at some of those in a second. And then here's just a look at some places around the world, or around the United States. So here's the United States population pyramid as a whole. I will move that so you can see it better. Here's the look at what the white population is in the United States. A pretty stereotypical white city, Cedar Rapids, and it's representative of what the white population is. It's pretty stable, not really growing at all. African American population growing, but not at a fast rate. The fastest growing population in the United States is the Hispanic or Latino population. And then the Asian American population is old and decreasing. But then here also you see some significant other places, and just why population pyramids look a little different. This is Naples, Florida. Hi, old people. There's a lot of you here. And so just a huge overwhelming. But you also know that Naples, Florida, the population pyramid is pretty unchanging, very similar to Lawrence, Kansas, because Lawrence, Kansas, college town, home of the University of Kansas, they don't really move a whole lot. Well, then what's going on here in Alaska? It's a military base. It's a military base. So let's look here at some other places around the world um, that I have for you. Here we go. So this is the world population pyramid. And so this is as of 2015, but I can click forward here to 2020. You can see here just, the population numbers, male versus female. You can also see the percents as a whole. Then you can also up here, look at the growth rate. Look at the growth rate of the world. So if I go forward to 21, you can just see how the population pyramid is going to change. And it is projected that the world population, about 2100, is going to be about 11 million people. And the world population, look here, it's barely growing at that point anymore. That's because you're going to have a lot of places, like if I go to Germany, their population pyramid is relatively stable at this point. If anything, shrinking a little bit. How about let's go to other places in Western Europe. Let's go to France. Population pyramid barely moved. If you notice, the peak of French population is in about 2040, 2045 or so. And then it's going to be just on a slow decline. The United States, 2100. It's still going to be growing, but not a ton. Well, then yes, we are going to hit 11 billion people, and right now the world population is at about 7.5. That's because of places like this. Look at Nigeria's population curve. If I go backwards to current day, to 2020, oh boy. See all these people, you're going to have a huge amount of population growth. And as people age, notice the base is still wide, still wide, still wide. There's 2,100. 164 million people is what Nigeria is expected to be at in 2,100. Right now in 2020, it's at 24 million. Whoa. That's huge growth rates. If I go to sub-Saharan Africa as a whole, this is where almost all of the world's population growth will take place between now and 2100. You're at about 1 billion people living in sub-Saharan Africa now. In 2100, you're about 2100, you're pushing 4 billion. Meanwhile, if I go to Europe, Europe. Europe has peaked already. It's peaking basically right now. 750 million are a little under that, and by 2100 that would be significantly less. How about East Asia? I'm already on. Here we go. East Asia, population declining. That's China, that's Japan, that's the Koreas. How about South America? And you can see the website up here. It's populationpyramids.net, and you can explore this site yourself. But so South America declining by 2100, peaking at, peaking at 2055. Show you some interesting examples here. Qatar has a really interesting one. Let me go back to 2020 here. Why? 25 to 34. And if you go backwards, it doesn't really change a ton. That males in that age group, oil. Tons of migrants from South Asia moving there for oil. And one other one, the country in the world with the most females is Martinique. It's not a huge discrepancy like you have with Qatar, but it is a little more discrepant where at quick glance, I did not, well, here's one. There's very few levels where females do not outnumber males. So there is your look at population pyramids. They give you a ton. Oh, I didn't show you booms and echoes. The United States gives us a good look there. Booms and echoes. If you go back to, let's say, 1980. Okay, so here's the echo of the boom. Here's your boomer. So if I move forward a little bit more, there you go. Here's your boom. There's your echo. So there's your look at population pyramid.